guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled I Was Yelled at in a Shoe Store by Another Customer. When I was around 19 years old, I was at the mall with my two friends. We were in a shoe store, trying on shoes. There was a middle-aged couple in the very large store, and two employees in their uniforms who were at the registers, but otherwise the store was empty. I noticed the woman customer staring at me out of the corner of my eye, but I wouldn't look. The woman then started saying, hello. I need you to come find me a pair of shoes. Louder and louder as I continued to ignore her, proceeded shopping and trying on shoes. She was getting pretty mad. I knew she was talking to me, but I refused to look or say anything because I obviously didn't work there and her tone was disrespectful. I was wearing a sundress, high heels and had my purse, so I'm not sure why she thought I was an employee in the first place. The employees were wearing matching uniforms, certainly not dresses with heels, and they were clearly standing at the front of the store at the registers. Well, I refused to look over and she started getting really nasty. Hey you. I'm talking to you. What the hell do you think you are doing? I need your help. I can't believe she is refusing to do her job. Her husband told her quietly, she doesn't work here, she's another customer, but she wouldn't listen. She kept going on in a huff. I walked over to my friends, we all laughed and left. I just couldn't believe she was so pig-headed. She still kept going on even after she was informed she was wrong by her husband. Bet that was fun car ride home for him, yikes. The next story is titled Don't Smile at People. My 37F. First IDWH. But I went to a checkmark phone store to get a replacement, and there was no one there except the employee. It was like a miracle. I picked out my phone and got the guy my info, and he was getting me set up. As I'm waiting, an older couple walk in. The lady keeps staring at me, so I said hi. She then proceeds to yell at me that she needs a new Samsung phone. I told her I don't work there. I guess my foo shirt and flip-flops didn't explain that. Her response, well, you said hi to me? The next story is titled She Was Nice, but Weird Interaction. For some background, I have a heart condition and use a wheelchair for balance help in large stores when I know I'm gonna feel a bit shakier. The wheelchair I use is one I can't push myself. I'm not supposed to do heavily physical things like that. So I have a family member push me, usually my fiancé or my mother. Today it was my mother. Onto the story. We were in Walmart in the clothing section and this lady walks over to us asking where men's socks were. She was addressing my mom who was looking at some hoodies behind me and my wheelchair I was sitting in. My mom's hand was on one of handles of it. My mother told her she didn't work there. Then the lady asked me and I said the same thing. We don't work here, but there's a worker right there. I was unaware the worker didn't speak English very well and the lady had already asked her. After my mom had walked away wheeling me with her, we talked about how weird that was. The lady was nice and just wanted to know where socks were. But we just found it really funny that she asked someone in a wheelchair and someone who was pushing said person in the wheelchair, me. It was just like, yes, I can totally work at Walmart while in a wheelchair. The next story is titled I Haven't Worked Here in 8 years. I worked in a pharmacy part-time while I was in college, and then full-time for a year when I graduated. I quit to take up my first real job in January 2013. But I had a great relationship with the manager and my colleagues and I was asked if I'd be interested in working one Sunday a month for some extra cash and to stay on the books in case real job didn't work out. I agreed, and for about a year I covered occasional Sunday shifts whenever needed. My manager left in 2014 and a new one came on board. He understood the arrangement and said he'd keep it going, but I didn't hear from him for a couple of months. He rang me one Thursday to see could I cover the Friday. I explained again that I only really did Sundays when needed. He accepted that, and I never heard from him or anyone there again. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, at least 8 years since I last worked a shift there. I get a call from HR lady asking me was I still available to work. I said no, explained what had happened. I am not interested in Sunday retail shifts. HR lady says fine, in that case she needs a letter of resignation dated back in 2014 for their records. I say no, I'm not doing that, I never resigned. I was made effectively redundant as I wasn't offered any hours. She says if I don't submit a backdated letter of resignation then I must still be available to work, So can I send her my available hours Monday to Sunday between 9 to 6? I say nope, not doing that either, I'm not available to work. She keeps repeating that I either resigned back in 2014 or I still work there. I say that none of that is my problem. I never resigned, so I'm not giving her paperwork to that effect, and I no longer work there. It's not up to me to correct their records for them. She told me she couldn't understand why I had a problem backdating a resignation, and in the end she told me she was ending the call because we weren't getting anywhere. I've checked all my tax certs and allowances dating back to 2013, and because I transferred all my tax credits and allowances over to my new jobs, there's no effect of my 0-hour contract from the pharmacy. It was just weird that they clearly had realized I was a floater in my system, and they didn't have a procedure in place other than insisting I was still an employee and I had to either officially quit or else make myself available to work some shifts. I'm tempted to see if I'm due any severance or holiday pay for the years I worked there but didn't work there, just out of spite. The next story is titled, "You're on My Property. This is the Street." Obligatory apology because of phone formatting. Now my mom, she is an M, but not the one of this story, has a friend who is also an M. They chat with each other a lot, and M, my mom's friend, thinks she has the ability to tell me what to do when my mom is around. If I don't, my mom pulls me into another room and lectures me to respect my elders. I'm getting off track, but just wanted to explain a little about this entitled idiot. So this happened to my friend, not me. He doesn't have Reddit and he thought I should post it because I have Reddit. My friend, F, was riding his new electric scooter around his neighborhood where M lives. Her kid, NC for nice kid, was tossing a basketball on his driveway when F drove by. F and NC are friends, but for some reason M hates F. NC and F were talking when M burst through the front door and started screaming at F. Here's a close convo of what happened according to F. M. Get off my property, you little crap. F. I'm riding my scooter on the street. Besides, I haven't even gone close to your house. M. You little a-hole. Quit talking back to your elders. NC. Mom, he and I were just talking. Calm down. M. For compensation of trespassing, you need to give NC your scooter thing. F. I'm not even on your property. NC. I don't even want it, it's his. M. Sweetie, be a good boy and let mommy get you your scooter. NC. Quit talking to me that way. I'm 12, Mom. F. I'm just gonna go now. M. No. Give me your scooter. At this point she starts to walk over towards F. F. CYANC. F starts to ride away at this point while NC is yelling at M and she's yelling for F to get back there. This happened about 2 weeks ago, so F and I are waiting to see if anything happens. That's all for now, and I'll update if M tries pulling anything. The next story is titled Nice Lady Shuts Me Down. I have been listening to this subreddit for a while and realized I have a few stories that I can share here. This all happened pre-pandemic. Back in 2018 or 2017. I was spending a lot of time trying to balance my life between my business, work and just having time to exist, and my solution was to just do the things that I loved and share them with friends or whoever wanted. One of the things I was doing a lot was practicing freediving as much as I could. My favorite spot to do so is a place called Laguna Dudu. Look it up. Is actually a cool place to visit if you are ever in the Caribbean. I fell in love with that place years before after my first visit, which is a funny story maybe for a different subreddit, and became friends with the administration and staff, to a point that I was just a regular, and everyone treated me not like a guest but more like a friend that came by. On this visit, I got there early, had my tent all set up, and was just getting ready to do a couple of dives. It was hot, so I had my wetsuit half on. When I see this, very excited, little girl, and her, kinda lost mom, I assume, looking where to go. Because I know the staff, I know they don't speak any English and the lady doesn't look like she knows any Spanish. This is paraphrased, not quote-unquote. Nice lady equals NL. Little girl equals LG. Me equals the human telling the story, I guess. Me. Hi. English? NL. Oh, hi. Yeah. Me. Awesome. You look a little lost. What are you looking for? Because the place is an open space, sometimes guests are looking for a bathroom not knowing they just came from the only good place with a good bathroom. NL. I don't know, we got separated from my group because I wanted to see the place but I don't know where is what. Me. Oh, that's easy enough. Would you like a tour? I really love this place and I'm on my way down anyways. I lower myself down to the little girl's height. Me. Would you like to see the Taino cave? The little girl's eyes light up and she looks at her mom with that, can we, mom? I look at the mom too and she just gives me smile and a nod. A little context about the place. It was originally just empty land that the owners used to farm keep their ostriches. With time the owners saw the potential for tourism and adapted the place for visits, and they have been improving ever since. Is the only cenote-type lake divided by land but still connected by underwater caverns, naturally, in the Caribbean. According to the owners, there is one in Mexico but is man-made. So when you come in and pass the ticket gazebo, you can only see grass, trees, a 20-meter cliff going up, a little rock wall, and a path that takes you to the bigger gathering area. Not knowing that past that little rock wall is a 10-meter drop to a beautiful waterhole. To keep it short, we walked around. I gave them all the info that I had, like the one I just mentioned in the above paragraph, explained how and what to expect, and some recommendations from a regular on how to really enjoy the place, and ended back at my tent. I forgot my flippers. And this is where the IDWHL moment happened. NL. OMG, thank you so much for this, it was so helpful. She extends her hand to me with the equivalent of a USD $20 bill in it. Me. Looking at the money a little confused. What is, it hits me. Oh. No, that's not necessary, I don't work here ma'am. I just really love this place and don't mind sharing what I know. It's NL. You've been extremely nice to us, you deserve this, please. Me. No, it's okay, it was just me being me, is not necessary. So we went back and forth like this for a little while until she gets this look on her face of, okay you little brat, I'll show you. And in a quick decisive motion, she puts the money in my right hand, closes my hand in a fist, and without missing a beat or letting go of my hand pulls a $100 bill from her pocket and says, NL. You either keep that or I'll give you this. She stares me down for a second and I'm in shock. Then in a proud manner, she goes, NL. That's what I thought. Proudly smiles, HMPHS, and starts walking off. LG. Bye. And just like that, I snap out of my shock thinking, did she just threaten me with more money? And it worked. And that's it, the only time that I've been shut down by a person by threat of more money. To the nice lady at Doodoo, if you ever read this, well played, well played. The next story is titled The Karen That Wasn't. Let me preface this by saying that this is not my story, it's my friend's, but I was with him at the time it happened. We were at this shopping center buying stuff for our annual camping, fishing summer trip a couple of years before the world went mad. As both of us were already almost done with the needed goodies, and just had to buy some extra cans, one folding camping chair, and possibly a thermos, I can't recall the exact things to save my life, and it doesn't really matter. We were in our off-road outfits, leather, boots, camo clothes and backpacks. An older gentleman was in the same aisle as us. His cart was left a little away from him, as he didn't want to push it all the way, he was using a walking cane. He then approached us and asked us where the croissants were. We had already passed the food area, and we also knew that in order for him to get there, he would have to limp over to his cart, and then all the way back to us and to the other aisle. My friend asked him if that was his cart, the gentleman nodded and pointed at it. My friend then said, "Stay here, I'll get it for you," and quickly went and got it. The old man said, "Thanks," and went on with his hopping. Enter the woman. As my friend and I returned to our browsing, we saw what I can easily describe as the most beautiful woman I have seen in my life. Just a tad younger than us, long straight blonde hair, the bluest and whitest eyes that ever existed on a human, tall, slim, extremely well dressed, classy black heels, the kind of woman you'd think only exists after a few weeks of extensive Photoshop effort. Apparently she had seen my friend run to get the gentleman's cart, because she threw the bluest glance towards him, raised her hand and, I kid you not, snapped her fingers and pointed towards her own cart. We looked at each other, and my friend actually looked at himself, his camo clothes and leather boots, and looked back at me with a, "Dude what?" look on his face, while I was mouthing a silent, "Wow," back at him. We did nothing. She then took a longer look at us, raised a perfectly done eyebrow and said with a voice like a steel fist in a velvet glove, "Well?" My friend, always the witty one, said, "I actually am well, thanks." "Aren't you going to get my cart to the register?" she asked, her eyes never leaving his face, obviously making him uncomfortable. "Why?" he said, unsure how to react. "Isn't that your job?" Years of reading stories on this sub, and 500+ videos on Dark Fluff's YouTube channel came crashing in. She thought we worked there. We often exchanged links, and watched, read stories together, so we knew. We also knew that the only way to shut down a situation like this is to out-Karen the Karen. From this point on, I was just an observer. He. I'm sorry, miss, I don't work here. She. What do you maya? He. I. Don't. Work. Here. She. But I. He. I. Don't. Work. Here, and he clapped his hands to emphasize, don't. She. Well, I. He. I. Don't work. Here, with claps on every word. She puffed, turned around on her heels and started walking away so fast it looked like those 1000% sped up jump scare gifs. She got like 50 feet away, then she stopped, and walked back to us. I thought to myself, holy hairy jumping crapballs, here we go again. She said to him in a stern voice that demanded attention, listen. I braced for impact. She took a breath and said, I just wanted to apologize. My brain gears screamed begging for some WD-40. Like, Karen apologizes? What? I can see my friend is as baffled as a giraffe at a typewriter. He. There's no nay. She. I am sorry. He. Really, miss, it's not. She. I am sorry. He. But. She. I am sorry. With claps on every word. I couldn't take it anymore. I burst out laughing. I haven't laughed like that since I can't remember. I fell to my knees, I got tears in my eyes, boogers coming out, the whole shebang. It was the funniest thing ever. Seeing my friend's mouth open and close several times only made it even harder. I then saw that she can hardly contain her own laughter. Finally, the absurdity of the situation hit my friend as well, and he roared his way down to the floor next to me laughing his butt off. Turned out she wasn't a Karen at all. She just honestly thought we worked in the outdoor aisle in our outdoor clothes, and was trying to apologize after the first time he told her that wasn't the case, but he did not let her finish a sentence in his effort to out-Karen the Karen. What happened after that, you ask? They are expecting their second child this autumn. The next story is titled A Sweet I Don't Work Here Story. I was running an errand for my boss. Her daughter was in a school play and her costume needed a child's red turtleneck for the next day. My boss asked me to go to Nordstrom Rack to see if I could pick one up. I saw a woman with a huge amount clothes in a cart. I wasn't sure if she was an employee returning tried-on clothes, or if she was a customer buying a lot of things. So I tentatively approached her and said, "Excuse me, do you work here?" And she responded that she did not work here. So I immediately apologized for my error. But then she said, "But I'm here all the time. What are you looking for? Maybe I know where you should go." I told her what I was looking for and why. She then reached her cart and pulled out a cute girl's red turtleneck that was on clearance for like $7. It was also the right size. I told her that no, I didn't want to take hers, I would go get another one. But she explained it was the last one and she was only buying it because it was so discounted. That she didn't really need it and she was really happy to help me. She insisted that I take it. I did end up taking it at her insistence. The turtleneck was a hit with my boss's daughter. What a nice lady. The next story is titled A Wholesome Tale of Mistaken Colored Vest. So I work for a truck stop, I won't say which to keep with anonymous rules, but I had on a high-vis orange vest with my company logo plastered across the back and on the chest. The store I walked into uses red vests and it's not the warehouse store most of you are thinking of. I was looking for big garbage bags to use for hauling around towels as I was sent to the laundromat and forgot to grab a roll for the clean ones. I know, stupid me. And I had to pay out of pocket for them. Well, there was a chick sale going on, not human females, but the baby chicken variety. I was stopped by 5 people all wanting to buy a few, asking if I could open the cage. I said I couldn't and they said, "Don't you work here?" I said, "Sorry, no. I work for the truck stop down the road," and then I flipped around to showed my back to show the bigger logo and then we all had a good laugh until an actual employee came up hearing the roaring laughter. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.